Hello ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. This is Milan coming to you from the Black Forest in Germany. And I'd like to share with you a story today about a young man who had the great honor of hosting a Shaolin monk in his home. This is a true story, and this is pretty much part 2 to the story I told you yesterday about the sensei and a cup of tea. So here goes. This young man, as I previously mentioned, he had this Shaolin monk visiting him in his home, and this young man was already himself quite versed in the martial arts, having studied multiple disciplines for several years, and he was very excited about having this martial arts master in his home, for he was very keen on learning as much as he could about the art of Shaolin Kung Fu. And for those of you who don't know much about the martial arts, the Shaolin Temple in China is said to be the birthplace of the martial arts as we know them today. So this was a great honor. So they're sitting around after dinner, and the young man says to the Shaolin monk, "Now, I would be greatly honored if you would teach me some of your Kung Fu." And the Shaolin monk thinks for a moment, and then he says, all right, I like to show you how to throw a punch." And the young man replies, "Well, I know how to throw a punch. I've been studying the martial arts for several years. I know how to throw several punches. I want you to show me the big stuff, the really hard stuff, the complicated stuff." And the Shaolin monk says, "I still want to show you how to throw a punch." And the young man, thinking that perhaps the Shaolin monk didn't quite understand him because of the language barrier, repeated again, "No, no, no, no. I know how to throw a punch. I know how to show many punches. Look, I'll show you." And so he proceeded to do a demonstration of all of the punches that he knew, which were quite a few, as you can imagine, after having studied the martial arts for so many years. And the Shaolin monk listened quietly and watched thoughtfully. And when the young man was done, he said, "I still like to show you how to throw a punch." And he took a candle and set it between them, and he said, "Now throw me your best punch, but stop 1 inch away from candle flame." So the young man throws his punch as fast, as hard as he can, and stops exactly as the monk instructed, barely 1 inch away from the candle flame, and he was quite satisfied with himself. He had done quite well, he thought. The monk said, "Very good. Now I show you my punch." Then he proceeds to show his punch, and he throws the fastest and the hardest punch this young man had ever seen. But interestingly enough, the monk didn't stop 1 inch away from the candle flame. Instead, he stopped about 1 foot away. And yet, what happened when he stopped his hand 1 foot away from the flame? Can you guess? The flame went out. Now, of course, when the young man saw this, he was quite impressed, his jaw dropping to the floor, and he said, "I want you to show me how to throw that punch." And the Shaolin monk nodded and said, "Yes, yes, it's what I tell you all the time. I want to show you how to throw a punch." And then he proceeded to tell the young man that they have a saying in the Shaolin tradition that I am not afraid of the many different punches you have practiced each once, but I am very afraid of the one punch you have practiced hundreds of times. It's pretty much the rough translation. So, the moral of the story is, we really don't know what we don't know, right? Even when we think we know, we usually don't. So that's my story today about the importance of staying teachable. So, thank you for listening, and stay teachable, my friends. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I will see you back again here soon. Bye now.